Hello friends, I am Sanskar and welcome back to the channel. So from around October 2020 till today, I have listened to almost 200 podcast episodes and I've realized that apart from books, podcasts are the single most biggest source of knowledge. So in this video, I will share 7 podcasts that have had a huge impact on me as a software developer. Alright, before we get started, please make sure to press like, share and subscribe so that this video can reach more and more number of people. So the first podcast is How I Built This with Gaias. And this podcast very interestingly covers in great depth how great innovators and entrepreneurs built their companies and overcame the challenges they faced. I remember in one episode, they had a conversation with Melanie Perkins, the founder of Canva. She tells us how the idea came to her mind when she saw the difficulty with learning to use Adobe Photoshop, how she had to struggle hard to get the investments. Another very helpful episode was with the creators of Patreon, where Sam Yam and Jack Conti discussed how they were friends from college and teamed up to work on Jack's idea. Another one is Masters of Scale with Reid Hoffman. Reid is the co-founder of LinkedIn and he invites CEOs from Nike, Netflix, Starbucks, Slack, and they share the stories, strategies that help them grow from startups into big global brands. I personally enjoyed the episode with Jimmy Wales in which he talks about how Wikipedia faces challenges in the initial years and how he overcame them. The next podcast is The Ranveer Show. So TRS is the first podcast which actually got me into listening to podcasts like Ranveer's interviews with Sahil Lavingya, Ryan Hoover, Anshuman Singh, Gary Vee. Wow, he has had so many wonderful guests. Personally, I only listen to his tech podcasts like entrepreneurial podcasts as well. So moving on, the next podcast on the list is A16Z podcast. This podcast very beautifully covers the trends in tech. Like today, all the buzz is around Web3 and NFTs. So my first sort of real understanding came when I listened to the NFTs explained episode by A16Z podcast, where they cover literally the A to Z of NFTs. The next podcast has launched very recently, but I have enjoyed listening to it very much. It's When It Clicked. This podcast discusses the behind the scenes of what moment really made that product, that particular company into the big giant they are today. In one of their episodes, they discuss how rightly the world's first in-browser word processor was acquired by Google after rejecting them twice and it became Google Docs. Another one is the indie hackers. So in this podcast, you will get to know how indie hackers are turning their ideas, side projects into profitable businesses. You will get to know the tools, the strategies they are using to capitalize on new ideas. I personally really enjoyed the interview with Peter Levels, in which I got to learn about his habits and thoughts which make him so prolific. So another podcast is the Developers Cafe podcast. I host this podcast and my mission is to call people from different tech domains like web development, app development, Web3, blockchain, crypto, NFTs, and give you all people the knowledge what it is to be involved in those domains. If you are confused whether to go in that direction or not, so my goal is to give you the clear idea, the clear picture of what that industry has in store for you. So definitely check my podcast out. I can leave the link in description. You can definitely subscribe to my channel as I bring out new podcast episodes every Friday. So definitely consider subscribing if you want to learn about how developers tackle their daily challenges and how basically they think. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this one and gained something out of it, and definitely consider subscribing and liking the video if you enjoyed the video, and share it with your friends, and see you in the next one.